Man, I had a whole video planned out talking about this new song by Clipse, Ace Trumpets. I heard the song a few times. I liked it well enough. I had a lot of people tell me, Skye, you got to talk about this song. It's what's happening. It's what most of my colleagues in hip hop YouTube are talking about. And I had a rare thing for me, which was kind of a hot take. Sorry, I've got a lot of crows behind me. You're just going to have to ride with me and the crows. So I had kind of a hot take. It was going to be a very rare Professor Skye negative video. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was going to ask the question, are we gassing up the new Clipse song? Gassing up the old hip hop terminology, and I guess even pre hip hop terminology, meaning like, are we hyping it up too much? Is it not as good as we are saying that it is? I had a whole plan with bringing it into this great song from Eric Sermon from the late 90s called Don't Get Gassed, off a really underrated Eric Sermon project that even itself samples Don't Believe the Hype. I was going to be talking about Don't Believe the Hype. I was going to talk about how, I was going to acknowledge firsthand, before I really went into destroying the song, I was going to acknowledge that, I'm a huge Pusha T fan. Hell, I'm a Clipse fan. I kind of stopped listening to music in between their new music, in between their first and second album. But I downloaded the first Clipse album on LimeWire. So, that's where I am in terms of how long I've been liking the Clipse. But I'm a huge Pusha T fan. I went to his concert. I keep a framed Pusha T autograph in my house. Okay, all right. That's how much I enjoy his music. So I was going to talk about that before really laying into the song. I was going to acknowledge that it was a part of a really great rollout. There's something really classic and amazing about this, and I think that's probably why I thought people were gassing it up. Read My Soul has a great video about how this is what he wants. This is like a proper song, and it seems like it's going to be a proper album, and it certainly has a proper layout, a proper rollout. It has this great cover by Cause, who's apparently not Japanese. Apparently he's an American artist who seems like a Japanese artist. So it has a great artist making the album cover, and then this insane GQ interview, which does all of the basically all of the promotion budget. Just save it. Just hold on to it, guys. You don't need it anymore. This one interview with GQ does more than you could have possibly asked for of any PR firm. It is a masterpiece in getting people psyched and getting the internet to talk about the new Clipse album. He brings in the Kendrick feature that apparently UMG was uncomfortable with because it was allegedly attacking Drake, but not really. So just in this whole story of the album being taken off of UMG and being put on Rock Nation, out of one frying pan into a different fire, check out my video on record labels from last week. But it makes them seem cool. It makes them seem the same way they felt 23 years ago, whatever it was when I first listened to them. It made them feel edgy and cool, and like they're going against the man of Universal Records and against the man of Drake's hegemony. Beautiful idea. It's getting people talking, and the song itself is paired with this. So to say you don't like the song sort of feels like you're saying you don't like Clipse, and you do like Drake, and you do like UMG, and you do like censorship. Going beyond that, separating himself from Ye, because a lot of how people have been thinking about Pusha T in the past decade has been in the context of Ye, saying that Ye isn't a man, hitting all the bullet points in a very subtle and cool way. It's a very nice read. If you haven't read the album, if you haven't read the interview, you really need to. Don't just watch the highlights from people. So that was it. That was going to be my whole take. I was going to start off by saying, hey, this is a great rollout, and then take a left turn. I was going to say, but if you've read the GQ article, there's a little line in there that I want us to consider. This is a quote from Pusha T. At the end of the day, no, that's not what he said. At the end of the day, he says, the music has to sound as urgent as if we had nothing. It's like records can be good, but that's not it. Yeah, that's hard, but that don't make it. It's all because we recognize the standard, and the standard that I feel like people are holding us to. So when I read that quote, in comparison with this 2-minute and 30-second song, I was like, I don't know, guys. I think we might be gassing the song up, because I don't know if it really meets that standard. Maybe it's not as good as we are saying it is. Maybe it's just how good it is because that's how good we want it to be. We want it to feel like the next installment of good guy rappers fighting against bad guy rappers, right? Like the good, authentic, artistically minded, creatively minded artists fighting against the suits and those who make the suits happy. And maybe I was a little bit bitter because, in the last month, I've reviewed a ton of rap stuff, Billy Woods, Rome Streets, Ray Vaughn, Aesop Rock. Right after I do this video, I'm going to go to the gym and keep working on my Bruiser Wolf review. And if you haven't heard it, you should give it a listen. The rhymes are cool. They sparkle and glisten. He rhymes better than that, So part of me is feeling like I see all these people talking about this album as like this great hope. And I'm like, they're hoping for something that's already happened. If you want to hear great rap music that's artistically driven and not commercially driven, go listen to Woods, Streets, Ray Vaughn, hell, listen to Aesop Rock. There's just so much good stuff out there. So that was going to be my whole angle, and I was psyched for it because it was going to be kind of spicy. It was going to be a thing where I was going against the current of what everyone else was saying. But as we'll get into soon, much like Pusha T, I can't fake it. I can't fake how I feel. So I went for a nice walk last night. I went for a nice walk with my wife and the kids, and we were talking about our week. We had a meeting with like an estate lawyer, and my wife was talking about an email that she's going to be sending to some of our family members. And I swear to God, I'm listening. Okay, I'm a good husband, but the whole time that I'm listening, I'm like thinking about this negative review and how am I going to phrase it. And I was thinking about that little quote, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. I go back home. It's like 9 o'clock, but my 2-year-old's hungry, so I cut her up some cheese, give her some crackers, has some apricots, and just for the hell of it, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to listen one more time to the song. I press play. Oh no, I was wrong. I don't know what the magic number is for how many times you have to listen to this song, but that was it. I think that was my 6th time listening to the song. I think maybe it's because I'd given it some space. But by the time that verse kicked in, I was completely in. I was like, what the hell am I saying? What the hell am I thinking? This is not being gassed up. This really is it. This is like me downloading Grinding and the E40 remix timing at the same time in 2002. To keep it 100, as you kids like to say, I've always preferred the E40 remix. We'll talk about that another day. And this listen revealed everything to me. Like the opening, bing, 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 bing. The first 5 times I listened to it, it's a little too tinny, But now this time it was hitting just right. Especially the sparseness to begin. It's so sparse, Pharrell is an amazing producer. I do miss Hugo, but Pharrell is an amazing producer. He is not afraid to do things that make you go, is this it? I don't know. Okay, maybe this is it. Because the first 5 times I listen, it's like, this isn't it. And then that 6th time, I'm like, this is it. I don't know, it's like a gamelan or something, some kind of stringed instrument. And then just the opening, and Pusha T does a thing that a lot of great rappers can do, which is just have killer opening lines. Ballerinas doing pirouettes inside of my snow globe. Just, obviously talking about snow being cocaine and all that, and ballerinas. Is this, he was on what's that song? Ding! Sing that song. Ding! Runaway. He was on Runaway, obviously, by Kanye, and that video featured ballerinas. So I heard this, and I was like, oh, okay, so now I guess he's got the ballerinas. That's kind of a cool idea. And ending with Ace Trumpets and Rose Mose. What I like about that is, who cares about champagne, right? Trumpets is a large quantity of champagne, but like most people don't know that a trumpet is a large quantity of champagne. So it just has this idea of like Ace Trumpets, to the point where you listen to the song and you kind of go, oh, is that an Ace Trumpet that's being played? Is that what that's called? I had to look up Rose Mose. It's Rose Mojitos? I don't drink much. My wife and I were out on a date the other day, celebrating our 7-month dating anniversary, and each other. And we're like, we should get a mojito, but then we didn't. We don't really drink. So that was all great, listening to it this time. But then the point where the chorus and the verse meet, come on, Skye. Come on, Skye of during that walk. What are you thinking? It was one of my favorite parts of music. It's one of my favorite parts of food. Actually, my daughter was eating a fresh apricot, but I was thinking about like dried apricots or apricots, depending on what you call them. Like sometimes there's like a time where you can like take a bite along one of the dried folds, and there's like this combination of like sweet and sour that feels like it's made by a confectionery company. It's just so unbelievably good. Like you hear, like you taste these different tastes at the same time. And that's what this was. It was just unbelievable. The way this woozy synthesizer comes in, just so simple. Pharrell knows how to keep things so simple. And it sounds Pharrell-y. It sounds retro-futuristic, which is how his stuff has always sounded. But it's somehow timeless. How can something be retro-futuristic and timeless? That's the Pharrell question. That's the Pharrell $1,000 question. And it's just a little bit ratty. And at the base of it all is that drum. And I don't know, I imagine most people who've been liking Clipse's music for a long time are like me. I mean, I was really into Pharrell. I was into the Neptune. God, I must sound like a hipster. But I was into the Neptunes like very early, like their very first kind of like radio hits with rap, with how I really discovered them. I wasn't underground or anything. I wasn't like in Virginia. But the first time I heard them, I think it was on a Noriega song. I was like, what is this production? What is going on right here? I want to know who this is, right? But there's the first time I thought of the Clipse was on Grinding, and just how drum based that is. Man, just great, right? 23 years of me being unable to successfully pound out that beat the entire way through. Don't lie to me. You can't do it either. You tell me in the comments if you can successfully predict when it's going to snap, clap, and pound. I get pretty close. But anyways, the drums that Pharrell's able to do. Sorry, my daughter's on the other side of the camera waving at me. She's getting ready for school. Like just the way that they're able to get the drums with Pharrell's amazing laconic. With Pusha T's laconic voice, his cool voice. I don't know what he's been doing, but he's been protecting his voice. He doesn't sound raspy. He doesn't sound worn out. And then we get the first line of the verse. Yellow diamonds look like pee-pee. So that's why I didn't like the song, by the way. I still don't like that line. I will go toe-to-toe with anybody. That's a bad lyric. Yellow diamonds look like pee-pee. Ew, gross. No thank you. I don't care what diamonds look like pee-pee. You pay for that. You pay for something that every time you look at it, you go, this looks like pee-pee. I know he's being creative, and like yellow diamonds are a particular kind of diamonds, and his whole thing is like he's so luxury, you don't even understand what his luxury is, right? Like his whole thing is you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That's his whole, you got tennis balls for the wrong sport. Nobody explained to me what that means. I never want to know what you've got tennis balls for the wrong sport means. Never tell me what that means. I want to not know. And so it's that kind of ridiculous luxury, but I just don't like thinking about pee-pee. It makes me think about people peeing on ears. And the only person who's into that I know is the President of the United States. Not allegedly. Come at me, Donnie. But then the verse keeps going, and Pusha T, there's what I can't wait for, and I'm not being facetious. I can't wait for the discussion when this album comes out of people finally taking stock of how good is Pusha T. People finally saying, is Pusha T top 10? Right? That question's got to be asked eventually, especially this run he's been on, like from Daytona through It's Almost Dry. Jesus, just those two albums back to back. It's Almost Dry is so good. I happen to see on defjam.com. I'm not sponsored. And maybe this is because they're no longer on the label. They've discounted the price of It's Always Dry vinyl to $10. $10 for one of the best rap albums of the last 5 years. So I bought 2 copies. One for my daughter over there who's going off to college. She's a big Pusha fan too. She wears a "You Know Who the Villain Is" T-shirt to school. I'm proud of her. And then I'm going to do a giveaway. Okay, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to give away the other vinyl to you, the people, because that album is just so good. So, anyways, I look forward to that because there's lines like, "How could you and me ever be seen as peers? Can't compare. You just CC." You just carbon copy. Like, who even think of that? Don't you know these clears in my ears, only VVs? So, like, the yellow diamonds are the good ones. These are only VVs. Play musical chairs, Fred Astaire through these GTs. Just musical chairs, Fred Astaire. He just throws out those kind of weird internal rhymes. Musical chairs, Fred Astaire. It's not quite multisyllabic. Chairs, stare, musical. But still, little internal rhymes that create that kind of rhythm. He's just a master. White gloves, service with the brick. I'm Luigi. I love it because, you know, as I talk about a fair amount on this channel, I am a brother. I'm not like a brother, but I'm a brother, right? I have 3 brothers. And I love that they are a rap group that are brothers. And I love that they're a music rap group that are not defined by conflict. I mean, most rap groups that are brothers are defined by conflict. The Black Crows. Who's that other one? The British one that are terrible, that everyone gasses up. Oasis, right? Ooh, I got some people mad. Come at me, millennials. Did I just say that Oasis is a millennial band? I know, it's also an extra band. Anyways, you know, like, they're not defined by anger. Like, they split up, but, like, they still respect each other. They never said anything bad about each other. And also, how cool is it that 2 of the most badass brothers in music history are named Terrence and Gene, right? Like, doesn't Terrence and Gene sound like a bluegrass group where one of them plays fiddle and the other one plays banjo? Hello, I'm Terrence, and I'm Gene. And we're the Clipse brothers, bow, 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 right? But it's Terrence and Gene from Virginia. I love it. So I love Luigi. I love that he's taking the 2nd place. I love that even though he's like one of the most fiercely competitive rappers in the world, that he just kills him and goes after him and does not stop, that he defers to his older brother. I love it. Sold ecstasy, I disappeared, I am Houdini. Just, I think great rappers have a way of just reading their lines. You know exactly the way he's going to say it. I am Houdini. Like, you know the way that Pusha T is going to push out a lyric at you. Look at them, him and him, still waiting on Yeezy. I hope you got your squeegees. I like that he's taking a shot at Yeezy. So what I was saying was fascinating to me is that in the interview, the takeaway everyone took was that he said that Ye is not a man. What I love, that he said in the interview that the reason that he and Ye are not friends is not because he attacks Ye. It's because he can't fake the funk. He can't pretend to respect Ye. So he's not even saying, like, you suck and this is stupid and what are you doing and this is whack. He's just like, hello, and Ye can read off of him the disapproval. That is a trait that he happens to share with some people that I love very much. Okay? like my wife and myself. I guess I love myself. I love myself. You know, like, we had that same problem where it's like, we don't judge everybody. You know, like, you talk to somebody, you know, you talk to a new parent and everything's fine and you're not judging them and they say some stuff and you think, oh, Jesus, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do. You're still doing Baby Einstein? Man, that's been debunked a long time ago. Get the kid away from the screen. You know, if you can, get the kid away from the screen. And we don't say it. We just kind of sit there and then it turns out, you know, find out 5 months later, like, they're judging us. Like, that's the way you are. Like, he's just too real. I like how he's changing a little bit. It's not just about selling coke. It's about being happy. Life is peachy. ASAP with Riri talking about the quality of his life. A little bit of growth. And then just international flights connect me to the Wi-Fi. Shout out to my friend Dave, a friend of mine from California, who I hung around with a lot all the way back in 2002. When I would play for him the E40 remix of Grinding called Timing. Dale Earnhardt signature edition, optional package. Because he would always call Wi-Fi Wi-Fi because he went to France once and he just thought it was funny that they called it Wi-Fi. He's showing off his worldliness. He's showing off that they're recording this in France. By the way, tell me in the comments if you know what Wi-Fi stands for. You know, you had to keep listening. It doesn't stand for wireless fidelity. It doesn't stand for anything. Isn't that funny? It was just like some marketing group was like, we'll just call it Wi-Fi, but it doesn't actually mean anything. It just was Wi-Fi. I saw a YouTube video about it once. And then the second chorus is like the same thing, but now it's more pronounced with these drums. Again, Pharrell's not going to leave you with the same thinness, the same ding, ding, ding. Now it's ding, 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 ding. It's just great. And then we get Malice. Sorry? No Malice. Malice doesn't live here anymore. Go ask Malice. Starring Ann B. Davis as Malice. Okay? We got no Malice coming in with just penne alla vodka. God. It's just like, it's absurd, right? It's absurd, but it's a great line. And it's a line that, so here's a true story. I think it was off of Supreme Clientele. But like, every time I eat fish, I just say, we eat fish. Okay, Wu-Tang fans are mad at me. I don't think it's, I think that's, what, okay, you tell me in the comments, without looking, what Ghostface song starts off with, we eat fish, toss salads, make rap ballads. Weird that he threw in the toss salad thing there. Anyways, so every time I eat fish, literally every time I eat fish, there's a little Ghostface killer inside me going, we eat fish, because it's this opening line. And now every time I ever eat penne at all, or even drink vodka, I'll just go penne alla vodka. Panama Fishing Village, visit in Papa with the choppers. It's just ridiculously overpronounced everything. All of you impasta, rhyming like creating, because he's saying that you're an imposter, but he's also using a homophone by pronouncing it impasta, so indicating that they are pasta like penne alla vodka, which is a delightful kind of pasta. Simply Ferrari window shoppers. See those window lickers and window buyers. What's the line from, what's that line from It's Always Dry? Man, I'm running out of time here. The one I just ordered looked like it was bought by NASA. So it's this whole rhyme thing of asa, ata, never leaving home without my peace, like Mahatma, persona non grata, mi casa su casa. Is that it? Is that weak or what? That's weak. That's weak. I'm sorry. Persona non grata, mi casa su casa. That was weak when Ye did it. Mi casa su casa, that's our casa nostra. That doesn't make sense. Like, just because you're using Italian words that people know what they mean doesn't mean they go together. That's all right. Drugs killed my teen spirit. Welcome to Nirvana. Like, there is a corniness to both of these artists that I really enjoy. And maybe it goes really well with the corniness or just the sort of the lightness and the simplicity of Pharrell's beat. I don't know. Hakuna Matata. He's talking about Hakuna Matata. He's talking about Mufasa. I suspect he's got kids, and he's been watching the Lion King. Hopefully the original, not the remake. The remake was actually, people were exaggerating how bad that movie was, but you can't beat the original. Umbrella in my rolls match the one that's in my Mai Tai. It's like, so he's got a drink with a little umbrella. So that means that in his Rolls Royce, he has a little paper umbrella. It doesn't quite make sense, but I get what he's saying. Listen, you are not I, cross T's, dot I's. I done disappeared without a voila. I mean, disappeared and reappeared without a voila. So in that one line, he's able to describe, like, why did he leave? Because he found Jesus and didn't want to talk about crack anymore. That's what I thought. That's what I read at the time. Now when you read it, it's like, yeah, he just went somewhere. I don't know. He just stopped being Malice. Now he's no Malice. I don't know. Now he's Malice in Chains. I don't know. But like, this whole line just says it all. I disappeared and reappeared without a voila. It's funny because my daughter is a huge Pusha T fan, but she doesn't really know Clipse. So we were listening to Clipse the other day, going home from a doctor's appointment. I know everyone likes their second album more, but to me, God willing, that's the one I grew up on. So that's one I really like listening to. And she was like, "Wait, this isn't Pusha T?" I'm like, "No, isn't that so cool that their rapping styles? Like once you listen to them a little bit, it becomes very clear." But it's the same thing. Like, so my dad's dead, but my uncle's alive, and my uncle looks so much like my dad that I look at a picture of my uncle and it makes me sad because I miss my dad. My uncle talks like my dad. I talk like my brothers. You meet my brothers. We don't always look exactly the same, but like our speech patterns, the way that we look, even some of our weird tics, you're just going to be like, what the hell? This is like that kind of connection and that kind of thing. I don't know. I love it. I love that family connection. I will ask you one question though. Do you really like Malice more than Pusha T? I've seen a lot of people saying like, "Oh, Malice bodied him on this verse," and it's nice. It's very good, but like, I mean, really, is it just that he's like more rare? That people, it's like a rarity thing, because, I mean, they're both good verses and they both work well, and I like how they're different but similar. But I don't know. to me, to say that No Malice like killed this song, I think is to me that's just crazy. That's just crazy. But maybe that's just my whole love of Push. So I want to go back to the GQ article by saying what they said about this song. Tellingly, both brothers point the new single Ace Trumpets as their favorite song overall. The least busy beat and the least high concept conceit. So that's what's cool to me, because I heard that they were doing an album together, and I was like, this is going to be great, because everybody knows I love Jesus is King. Jesus is King is better than Late Registration. You can at me. All right, go for it. Go for it all you want. Come at me, bruh. But Jesus is King is a great album, and one of the highlights is it's Pusha T and No Malice featuring Kenny G with that song, right? Like if you don't, that's why this album exists. This album exists because they got back together again on Jesus is King, and that was the perfect place for them to meet because it was still religious and it was still and it was just great, right? So like, I was anticipating this whole album being like essentially, the brother who's still very worldly and a brother who's very spiritual, and like how do they reconcile their past? How do they reconcile their different viewpoints? It's actually an interesting thing. One of my brothers is very religious, and I'm less religious. And like we will have conversations about stuff, and it's interesting because we come from the same place. We had the same dad who was a preacher. We had the same. We were baptized at the same time. Right, but like we had this kind of different. So like that's an interesting conversation. So I thought this whole album was going to be that kind of conversation, and then I get this song, and this is part of the reason why I thought that we were being gassed, because the song is just a less busy beat and not a high concept. I'm continuing on with the article. Just hard 808s and hard flexes. No Malice rapping. Never leave the house without my piece like I'm Mahatma. I find pleasure in that, Push says. And just talking your shit. Yeah, man, because I think that's what it's about. It's stunting. It still shows there's a technique and a style to it. I feel like there are things missing in rap and why it's so disposable, No Malice adds. Shit like this, the stickiness of records like that, and verses like that is what keeps this going. Ow, mother. Keeps this going. And what keeps rap around, good rap around. So, in the end, if you all are gassing up this song, I am too. If I'm saying don't believe the hype, actually, I'm saying believe the hype. I think it's great. I get one bad joke per video. I've been saving it till right now. I thank you for auditing the Always Positive Music Review Show, hosted by French Professor Smash Like Bucket AVA. A stands for Awesome Video, as always. But I think because they're like the villains, I think they should call themselves Waluigi and No Wario instead of Luigi. Because he says, the white glove like Luigi. He's Waluigi. He's tall, he's mischievous, and calling yourself No Wario is hilarious. So if you're with me, Waluigi and No Wario, tell me in the comments. All right, how long? Jeez, 27 minutes, about a 2.5-minute song. I never changed, Professor Skye. All right, until next time, there's the